Coverage coming your way is presented by EA Sports and the PGA Tour. Simply put, there is nothing like it in the game of golf. It is by far the biggest spectator event in the sport. We're at TPC Scottsdale in Scottsdale, Arizona. Hello again and welcome. Rich Lerner alongside my friend and colleague Frank Nobilo. And Frank, what can you tell us about this golf course?
Well, everybody wants to know about 16, the famed par 3 here, surrounded by those skyboxes. Once again, that'll be a topic of the day. But really, this is a regular sight for the PGA Tour. So those of you that were familiar with the golf course, it's now changed. 2014, the designers Morris and Weiskopf did a massive renovation.
Well over 100,000 fans every day, better than 500,000 for the week. It's a giant party mixed in with a heck of a tournament. This shot from 105 yards away. Frank, the beauty of golf, we're not playing inside a dome with no wind. You have to be able to handle the elements.
You do, and that's really where the better player comes through. On a day like today, anything around par is going to be a good score, so just adjust your own mental par.
Well, he'll be disappointed with that, no doubt.
The swing didn't quite look right on that one. Not a problem there, Rich.
Standing over this putt, concentrating on the read. So continues to play some solid golf.
Yeah, so often, Rich, we just focus at the very top of the leaderboard. Really, there's so much talent and depth in this championship.
Par 4 second hole, a little bit longer than the first, this one at 442 yards.
Yeah, they've added a new tee, changed the bunkering down the right side. Still a semi-blind tee shot, a hole that bends softly to the left side. The bunkering around this green has changed. Still, it requires a very precise tee shot.
We moved that one out there, but he is not going to like the lie.
That moved down in the rough.
This one looks like it might have a postage stamp on it. Airmail City.
Yeah, lick it. Send it.
So from the rough back to the fairway, that's the right way to go.
Yeah, didn't take the bait, and at least now he's only going to play the price of a poor tee shot. Still got a good chance, though, getting away with par.
.21-foot putt, set to go. In the words of the legendary basketball announcer Marv Albert, from way downtown, yes! Frank, what's the strategy here off the tee at the par 5 third?
For the long hitters, they still think that they can reach this par 5 and 2 comfortably with a good tee shot. For the shorter hitters, it really is a thought about where you lay up that second shot to try and leave a good third shot yardage in. Still a good tee shot, though. That hazard down the right side protects against someone who's a little too cavalier off the tee.
That's a good spot right there.
Center cut.
That's a good start to the hole, right down the middle. Absolutely gorgeous out here today, and I would expect that the players will be taking full advantage of these conditions. Frank, one of the great moments in tournament history here in Scottsdale, you go back to 1996, the sudden death playoff between Phil Mickelson and Justin Leonard. Mickelson has always been the hero out here because he went to Arizona State.
Yeah, and it still runs through his veins, Rich. It was such an important win for him because to do it in front of people that he considered his home crowd was huge. And then also to do it in a playoff where, obviously it's win or lose. So for Mickelson, 1996 and TPC Scottsdale certainly ring home.
He'll be pretty happy with that one. About 20 feet away in a good spot. And getting ready for the putt. Very well done. Almost made it.
Yeah, there'll be no stress for the next one. Even par currently.
And so just getting started. Even par so far. Now back over to the fourth. Early in the round and playing reasonably well. Nothing great, but has certainly not given a whole lot away.
Yeah, and actually a good position to really springboard the round from here.
Well, this one should be safely on deck here. Good, clean contact and a nice result. And a chance for birdie coming up.
Second shot.
Oh, I thought he had that.
Now putt for par.
Putt for par. He needs one. Still playing even for the day after the par. Frank, this is what you get when you come to TPC Scottsdale. A little bit of everything. The huge crowds. We saw an ace today. Birdies, eagles. What a round.
The changes at TPC Scottsdale have certainly stood up well, and this golf course, as we usher it into another decade, will certainly test the best and every other player that plays this game.
New look golf course here at TPC Scottsdale, but same raucous crowd. For my partner Frank Nobilo and all of us here at EA Sports, I'm Rich Lerner saying so long for now from the TPC Scottsdale. EA Sports is proud to present PGA Tour coverage. Welcome to the Stadium Course, TPC Scottsdale in Arizona. It's a masterful blend of challenge and playability designed by the team of Tom Weiskopf and Jay Morrish. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Novelo for EA Sports.
The changes, Rich, they made in 2014 have just added a luster to this great venue that hosts the PGA Tour event each and every year. And it's a great test for any level of play.
He has given this one the full treatment. Perfect release through the ball. And this shot is on the fairway, over 300 yards. That's a beautiful shot, and that sets him up for a really easy putt. Now this for birdie came away with par in the previous round. Frank, I'm sure it feels good to get some red numbers on the card, but this tournament is probably too far out of reach at this point.
No question.
Teed up here at the par 4 second, Frank, what do players need to look out for off the tee?
This hole has been lengthened in 2014, some 30-plus yards. Bunkering down the right has also changed, making this drive a little bit more important now. You can't just... When he goes after it like he is here... Smoked that one.
And that's going to stay on the fairway with the second hole. Second shot. Good look at the green. Frank, at a 72-hole stroke play event, do you like birdie fests where, say, 28, 30 under par might win it, or do you like a good old-fashioned grind them out where you might be able to win the championship at, say, 7, 8 under par?
Yeah, I like the latter, really, because I think it tests the mental fortitude. Normally, if people are, in the mid-20s under, the golf course is a little easier, it's a little more forgiving, greens are flatter and all that, and therefore... I'm not saying it's one-dimensional, but it's closer to that. When you have a good old barn brawn out there with the rough thick and bunkers are difficult and greens are fast and undulating, every part of your game is stressed to the limit. And, sort of 10 under I always think is like a really good litmus test for a great tournament.
That was not a very good read right there. Just a tap in to finish the hole. Well, not in contention, but in for par. Now the third hole, it's a par 5, and how does this one set up, Frank?
It's a nice yardage around that 550, 560 yard mark. So a good drive, you can certainly reach the par 5 and 2. You've got to flash it across a little bit of a desert there. This green has been completely changed in 2014, and the addition of one bunker to that right side. Used to be 2.
And the tee shot ends up in the bunker. All right, Frank, second shot.
Yeah, it looks like a good lie. Just take maybe half a club more than the distance allows. Still got to check the wind. Don't have to fly the ball all the way to the flag from here. Well, when you can't reach the green out of a fairway bunker, do the next best thing. That's put the ball in play. That's exactly what we just saw.
Smart shot. This one looks like it's headed right for the middle of the dance floor, Frank.
Rather nice shot, I would say.
He's making the game look very simple right now. See it, hit it, and he's got it right on track. Wow, I thought he made that. Oh, man.
Just pushed it.
Boy, that hurts. Just a couple of feet. Nothing wrong with that par putt. Really nice mix of holes to start here at TPC Scottsdale. The 2 4s and then the par 5. Now our first par 3. Just a little over 180 yards, Frank.
Plays a little downhill, longer than what it once was. Green is radically different. Used to be deep, now it's wide. And the bunkering, of course, is visually totally different from what it used to be. It was almost like that's what he wanted to do, but why would you want it to run over the back?
Second shot coming out of the rough here. And Frank, that steady play continues.
Rock solid. Excellent approach shot.
Just a little tap in here. Did the job right there. Well, Frank, now at the 5th hole, the par 4, the challenge stiffens just a bit.
Yeah, the longest par 4, obviously in the start of this golf course, around the 470-yard mark. 2 bunkers down the right have been changed to 1, but it's in the perfect position now. Of course, that new tee added to add a little bit of length to this hole. The green still remains relatively similar to what it used to be.
Frank, this is a way to make golf easy when you can hit it that deep.
Oh, I'm going to say, I know that first number's a 3. I'm guessing the second one's a 2. Let's call it 320.
This one has a chance to be close. That one inside of 10 feet, really dialed in. Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt. That had to really hurt, Frank, because it looked good all the way.
Well, this will test his mettle.
Not a gimme, but well within his range. Well, Frank, you hear it so often. This is a game of dealing with your miscues.
That's the beauty of this game of golf. It giveth and it taketh away.
Frank, this has been an absolute mess today and all week long.
You said it best.
Third round coverage comes your way tomorrow on EA Sports. For Frank Nobilo and our entire crew, I'm Rich Lerner saying so long for now. EA Sports is proud to present today's PGA Tour coverage. Set in the Sonoran Desert and surrounded by the majestic McDowell Mountains, we're at the stadium course at TPC Scottsdale in Arizona. Hello again and welcome. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo, set to bring you all the action for today's event. Frank, when you think about the TPC Scottsdale, what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
The golf course has been radically changed in 2014, but it still hasn't lost its luster. Really, it's just been updated like the game itself for these young, strong players of the modern era.
We are about 170 yards from the hole. Well, he'll be disappointed with that, no doubt.
Yeah, swing didn't quite look right on that one.
Just in the first cut of rough, not a bad lie. The only issue is he might get a jumper here.
It's tough to take an extra club out of that lie, Rich, because it's always in the back of your mind. If you hit it properly, it's going to email the green.
He gave that one everything he had. I mean, really gouged it, and still, it was short. Bogey here yesterday, chance to better that today. Blemish on the scorecard, a bogey. Ready to tee off now at the 6th. This is a dogleg left.
And another hole that's been stiffened by bunkers on both the left and the right side, really giving you the decision on what club to hit. Should you be bold or should you be smart?
Nicely played shot, about 310 yards down the fairway. Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
Frank, this is good golfing weather. Nice strong breeze.
Should be safely on deck.
That would be a great look at birdie. Bogey here yesterday. Now this for birdie. So with that birdie, moves to 1 under for the tournament. On to the par 3 7th, 215 yards from that back tee box, Frank.
This hole hasn't really changed. Still has that V-shaped green where it's very narrow in the front. A high-flying shot in here that carries that front edge, and you'll find the further and further you go back there, the more receptive and that green starts to widen.
Generate some momentum here at the 7th hole. This for birdie. So coming off the birdie on the previous hole, a chance now for yet another one.
And momentum all in his favor.
Has it now sitting at 2 under par for the tournament. Now here at the par 4 8th, slight dogleg to the left, Frank.
And this dogleg's made more severe now by the addition of 2 bunkers. This was a bunkerless hole off the tee in years gone by, but those 2 bunkers certainly make this a sharper dogleg. And because it forces the player to go down the right side, adds length to the already long 475 yards. Got the measurement out there, Rich. Looks like 290 yards.
This is the second shot at the par 4. On the green and looking at a birdie opportunity. See if he can go one better than yesterday when he made par. This putt for birdie. That was a good-looking putt, just not falling right now.
Sadly, he's going to be disappointed.
Well, you couldn't ask for much more than that, except to make it. Standing over this putt, concentrating on the read. He'll take par and move on. Finishing out the front side now at the 9th. And Frank, what do you think of this par 4?
Nice way to finish the front 9, Rich. Very thin green, protected by that little splash bunker in the front. Iron players get a real advantage here. One bunker down the right side to be aware of off the tee, though. I doubt anybody could carry that.
He has given this one the full treatment. Perfect release through the ball. And this shot is on the fairway, over 300 yards. Frankie's cranking it and banking it. Giant drives, a boatload of birdies. What a round.
Yeah, these are the days you just dream for. We know golf's not that easy. But on a day like today, savor it and just keep going. Keep doing it.
Chance to close out the front side here with a birdie. Makeable putt right here, currently sitting at 1 under for the round. can't make it, Frank, if you don't hit it.
Hubert Green once said, 99% of putts left short don't go in. I don't know what happened to the other 1%, but...
So just a formality here. Been a little too much of that, Frank. Just sort of ho-hum pars. Don't forget the final round comes your way tomorrow. For our entire crew, so long for now. This is EA Sports coverage of the PGA Tour. Here at the TPC Scottsdale in Arizona, and Frank, when so many people tune in to watch this great event, they think immediately of the 16th hole, with all of those fans jammed in. It's like Fenway Park inside the desert there. But it's much more than that little par 3, isn't it?
It certainly is more than that, Rich. The TPC Scottsdale is a great venue for a PGA Tour event. It's a blend of everything. Birdie opportunities, holes that are fraught by water, bunkering that's been changed. All in all, it's a great atmosphere with nearly 500,000 people that visit this during the tournament week. Oh, that was sweet. Straight down the middle.
Set for his next shot from a good position in the fairway.
In the direction of the sand.
Looks like it. He in the bunker, still with a chance for an up and down.
And an awkward little bunker shot. Just splash it out, let the ball run towards the flag.
Did the smart thing there, Frank. Took his medicine, back out onto the fairway. And he's made the green. Settles in over the putt. So not his best work. He'll walk away with a bogey. All right, Frank, now the fun begins. We are teed up at the par 5 15th hole. Plenty to talk about here.
Yeah, the fairway down the left side is anything other than straight. It's more like a shipwreck, the raggedness of it. And that water in play, well, if you do find one on the fairway, you can sort of always wave across to the people that are walking down the 11th hole.
So, drop the shot after ending up with the water on that recent miscue. So this will be the third shot after taking the drop with the ball going in the water. Just trying to make clean contact from the rough. And it looks like it's in the rough there, Frank.
It might not be as bad as it looks.
Frank, this is where the mental game really comes into play. You've hit a second consecutive shot into the rough.
This could compound very, very quickly. So now's the chance to just take a little breath, take a breather, and try to make sure this shot certainly gets out.
This one looks like it's headed right for the middle of the dance floor, Frank.
Rather nice shot, I would say. I mean, this skill, and that was sublime.
Just good hands, coming out of the rough, able to manage the distance, and now in great position. Okay, no problem with that one. Frank, the one moment that sort of made the 16th hole what it is today would have to be Tiger's ace in 1997 here at the TPC Scottsdale when it was raining plastic cups.
It was also his reaction, too, and that ushered in the Tiger Woods era that we became associated with, which is the fist-pumping, the rowdy spectators. I mean, he was one of the few players that bridged the gap between spectator and golf course. And it still goes on till today. And I think Rory McIlroy probably is the only other player that starts to broach that type of inside and outside atmosphere with golf.
Still to this day, it's the loudest single moment that I can ever remember hearing on a golf course. Made par yesterday, this one for birdie. Frank, where has that been?
Well, thank God for small mercies.
Frank, when you get to the 17th hole, we always recall maybe the single most bizarre shot in the history of golf.
Yeah, everybody talks about maybe a hole-in-one at 16, but really 17. And the player was Andrew Magee. It was a good tee shot, don't get me wrong. But Rich, it needed an assist.
Well, the assist came from Tom Byram, whose brother Kurt is a commentator for the Golf Channel. Tom Byram was just minding his own business, standing on the green, sort of leaning on his putter, and you know what happened.
Yeah, the ball hit Tom Byram's putter and then careened into the hole. So, 17. Made famous a little bit of history with a couple of names to drag up from the past.
Oh, no, look out, Frank. I think he flushed that one.
Oh, this is going, gone.
Playing this par 4, still not on the green after that second shot.
But still not done. A good third shot. Maybe get away here with par.
No way! He hold it, Frank.
Great pitch up. Rich, 18 was always considered a long finishing hole.
Not for J.B. Holmes.
Yeah, the water was always in play. And then the day he took it over the left side and carried everything and went on to win, that completely changed the way this golf course played ever since that day.
And it resulted in some of the changes we're seeing now.
Yeah, evidence, the new bunkering down the left side. But it showed us all how much and how strong these guys are, how much they've improved over the years.
That ball's run out certainly over 300 yards, Frank. Call it about 310. Appears to be what they call a commercial play. Very solid. Well, it's obvious he is in complete command of his golf ball right now. You don't want to let this one get away. This is about concentration and focus at this point. That shot falls for a birdie. Frank, it was a great setting with great crowds. We saw plenty of very good golf. Your thoughts?
Well, I think the course really extracted some of the golf that we saw. It forced these players to play just some great golf. And it wasn't just like a pitch and a putt golf course. So I think seeing the guys tested So seeing the players tested at this level, it was a treat.